I think we can all agree that pouncing in the aisle at the moment sucks ass. They've had 4.5 years since Evrima launched to get Pounce right, and they just refuse to do this correctly. It's had its moments where it's like, oh, this works, and then the other moments where it's like, right-click to win game. Especially since they introduced grapple as well in the Horde test, which made pouncing significantly fucking worse than it already was. Because not only can you right-click to immediately murder somebody now, and now if you have two people and you both right-click, you can kill whatever the fuck you want! Isn't that so fucking awesome? I think my main issue with Pounce is the lack of predictability. Let me create a scenario for you. You have a Tenno, you have an Omniraptor. Omniraptor spawns in the fucking air faster than Taylor Swift flying in her goddamn jet, and then Tenno suffers about 30 to 50% bleed. And also given the fact that pouncing requires a very generous amount of stamina, and the Omniraptor has plenty and plenty of opportunities to land this pounce given the right circumstances, and this instant right-click pounce leads Omniraptor to being able to solo whatever the fuck it wants, given the skill of the player, if the player is good enough, aka don't be a fucking dumbass and you can pretty much kill whatever you want. But all of this, hear me out, all of this is assuming pouncing actually works, which it doesn't right now because the ping and the server synchronization is absolutely atrocious right now. You could try to pin something that's like 5 feet away from you, land it, and then end up at the top of a fucking mountain or like 10 miles under the ocean. It's 50-50. Good news though, they nerf grapple a little bit. Something needs to be like 20% stam and health in order to be grappled by 2 Omniraptors minimum, which is decent. But grapple aside, how can we fix Pounce? Okay, let's just get to the roots. How can we fix Pounce? Hypothetical situation. If it worked exactly how it was supposed to, it doesn't, like, nobody's teleporting everywhere. You pounce on somebody, it lands. You're not like teleporting 5 feet away from them and like staring into the fucking dirt. You're not like stuck in place or whatever. You're not floating 10 feet in the air. It works. Even with everything working as it should, Pounce has one problem. Pounce is activated as soon as you click the right-click button. This requires little to no skill for the Omniraptor player to land, and is a huge pain in the ass for the person that is defending themselves from the Omniraptor. But Omniraptor instantly teleporting through the air when clicking right-click does not give the defender enough reaction to circumvent the situation. So how can we get around this? In order to fix Pounce, we need to take a look at how the fuck jumping works in real life, or any action for that matter. See as he brings himself down, bending his legs, then to use that energy to push himself from the ground and leap into the air. The Isle's Omniraptor completely eliminates this first state and immediately goes into this action right here. The defender needs to be able to see the attacker preparing for an attack or a pounce, and then react accordingly. I whipped up this old concept so you can see what the fuck my brain is thinking, okay? So this is just Omniraptor standing, okay? You hold right mouse button to get into a pounce state. Hold on a second. Alright, then you hold right mouse button to get into a pounce state, and then you release mouse button, and this sends you into a pouncing state. This pounce state is going to allow the defender, in this case we got a poorly drawn Tenanto, it's going to allow that Tenanto to visibly react to this right here. Because the Omniraptor is like getting into a physical state, bending his legs, getting down closer to the ground, ready to jump off the ground. This green line is the ground. They're not floating. I just couldn't draw the line any closer to their feet. And then release himself into the air like a majestic creature that he is. And then gets killed because he missed the pounce. Or he lands the pounce. Tenno dead. I feel like this gives a 50-50 action to reaction balance ratio, gives them enough time to perform their attack, while at the same time giving them enough time to hopefully react to the incoming attacker. The Omniraptor would be able to move in the pounce state, but at a reduced speed, they can still run, trot, but the run is going to be a bit slower, the trot is going to be a bit slower. That just makes sense, but you could honestly probably just make them moving full speed, trot, or running while in pounce state, which would be fine too, but they would be in the pounce state crouched down while running. They would be in the pounce state crouched down while trotting. Like how Packy, like you can visibly see when Packy is about to headbutt you because he raises his entire body towards you. Pouncing should act exactly how headbutting works for Pachycephalosaurus. Because currently, in the state of Evrima, you don't have this, and it just goes from this to this. They don't push themselves off the ground, they don't jump, they just kind of teleport in the air, and first of all, it bothers me a lot. It just looks weird. And second of all, I think it would just help balance. I believe this will just indirectly solve a lot of problems that we have with pouncing at the moment. So instead of it being a win button, it'll be used as a viable, it'll be a valuable tool in the Omniraptor's skill set. So guys, please, we need this. We have this. We have this. We really need this. This would help so much. Like, it really will. This will only be healthy for the game, it really would. And not only would it allow the defender to react to the situation, it'll add some vulnerability to the Omniraptor that it doesn't already have besides it being slower than Carno, which is pretty much the only downside it has, is that it's slower than Carno. Carno is the only thing that has an up on it right now. Its agility is the only thing that allows it to survive a Carno one-on-one, but adding a pounce state would also help it rely on other Omniraptors. If you have other Omniraptors, the Tanano is going to be trying to keep its focus on the one that's pounced, and then that'll give enough time for another raptor to get into pounce state. Shit, I fucked that one up. That'll give enough time to give this Omniraptor to get into a pounce state while he's focused on this guy, because he's pounced, right? And then he gets in, he goes, Urgh! And then dead. Tenno dead. At the moment, you just have like 8 of these guys, idle state. You have no clue they're gonna pounce. They all pounce this guy. You got 8 of them that just pounce, fucking dogpile him. It's so fucking annoying. It is so stupid. So please, guys, think about this. This would, like, completely change the game in a beneficial way, I promise you. And also, do what this thing says right here. I don't know how that got there. Just do it. Urgh. Urgh. Cool. That button right there, down below, click it. Moral of the story, though, the best examples for game balance sometimes is right in front of our faces. And that's all I gotta say for today. Peace. Thanks.